Okay, folks, before we get into it, let me say that we will be talking about things that have happened in the Walking Dead TV show through the end of Season 8, as well as things that have been released by AMC and the producers of The Walking Dead going into Season 9. So if you're not caught up with the show through the end of Season 8, or you have managed to stay in the dark concerning things with Season 9 and you don't want any spoilers, you might want to skip this one. Okay. For those that don't know, I have done some Walking Dead content in the past. I stopped doing it regularly for various reasons, but still reserve my right to throw out a little TWD content from time to time. One of these I do is my death predictions for the season. As I've said before, the death predictions are kind of like the Walking Dead fans' version of the March Madness bracket. You know, everybody kind of does it. And last season, much like with my March Madness bracket, I sucked. I predicted 7 major to semi-major deaths and I only got 2 right. Shiva and Eric. Though I did list Simon as a toss-up, so I give myself a half point there. The others, I couldn't have been more wrong. Though they did tease us with Jerry a couple of times. Now, this season is going to be very difficult. We have the time jump, a lot of new characters. It's hard to say where they are going with a lot of this. I will say I don't go to spoiler sites and avoid spoilers as much as I can. I do ask you not to post any spoilers in the comment section. I also don't include a lot of fringe characters, and by that I mean characters like Cal and Oscar and Tanya, and these characters we recognize, and they may have a few lines, but are never really integral to the storyline. It's just a given we'll lose a handful of those during the season. So mostly we're going to concentrate on main characters and known characters going into this season. And yes, we will get to the elephant in the room. Now, after last season and the death of Carl, plus that elephant in the room I just mentioned, I don't consider anybody to be 100% safe. Every year up to last year I said there were 4 total untouchables. Those 4 being Rick, Carl, Judith, and Maggie. Now, as we stand on Season 9's doorstep, Carl is gone, and, well, we'll get to the rest of that later, but with that in mind, and saying I think they will keep major deaths to a minimum, there is one that I am very confident in saying he won't die, and that is Daryl. Norman Reedus has signed a big fat new contract and has given no indication that he wants to leave. With everything else that's going on, I'm quite sure the powers that be at The Walking Dead don't want him going anywhere. So at the very least, Daryl will see the end of Season 9 and be there for Season 10. So won't give him a 100% chance of survival, but we're going to give him a 99% chance of survival. I'll leave that 1% possibility of being wrong. Just about as safe, at least for this season, as Michonne. With everything else going on, I seriously doubt they are going to take out one of their biggest female stars. Beyond this season, who knows? But for now, Michonne's pretty safe. I'd say about a 98% chance of survival. Okay, that's going to bring us to our speed round. And these are characters that I put at about a 75% chance of survival. I don't think they're going to kill them off, but I'll leave that little bit of extra room to be wrong, and there's a whole lot of them. So in the interest of saving time, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about each character. I'll just put them all, just run through these real quick for the most part here. Okay, first up, Judith. Even though I could see them doing something to link her to the elephant in the room, they've hung on to her. Judith in the comic died at the prison with Lori. They've kept her this long. I don't think they'll kill her off now. So I put Judith at 75%. Carol, she's pretty safe. Enid, I don't think they're going to do anything to get rid of her. Jadis really redeemed herself in my eyes last year, so I think she's going to be here for a while. Father Gabriel, I actually thought about making him a toss-up, but I'm going to go ahead and put him in the 75%. Jesus, we'll make it fine. Eugene, no, they won't kill him off. Rosita, they won't kill her off. Laura, if anything, they're going to hopefully they'll give her more to do this year. A-Rat, another one I'm a little shaky on, but I'll put her at 75%. Sadiq, they better not. After Carl essentially died, going back to get him last year. Aaron, I don't think they'll kill him off. Diane, again, I think I'd like to see them do more with her. Henry, he'll survive fine. Sydney will survive, and Dwight, who they have listed as a character again this year, I don't think they'll bring him back just to turn around and kill him off. Okay, now let's move into the toss-ups. These are the ones I give a 50% chance to survive. I can see it going either way. It won't shock me either way. First, I'll go ahead and put Sherry on this list. And while they have Dwight down as being part of the cast this season, they do not have Sherry. So I'd say there is a better than average chance she's already died. So she'll have an off-camera death, unless they have some kind of flashback. But there has to be some reason Dwight comes back, but Sherry doesn't. Could be he just couldn't find her, and she's left up in the air. Not sure what they're going to do with that character, so I'll go ahead and include her in the 50-50. Ezekiel and Jerry. And I'm putting them together here because they could use either one as a big death, but I'm not sure which one, and I'm not even sure they will do it. They teased both of them, really, last season. I'm really not sure about either one of them, so I just kind of put them in the middle. It said it won't shock me either way. Alden, he was being set up, at least it seemed, as a possible love interest for Maggie. Could be he already is when we enter season 9, because we have the time jump. But with Maggie's future up in the air, I'm not sure what they will do with him. It could be that the death of Alden sparks something else, and at the same time I could see them keeping him around. So not sure. So I'm just going to make him a 50-50. Negan, I've kind of bounced back and forth on where to put him. I could see them making that the season finale, the death of Negan. And I don't know, I got a gut feeling something like that's gonna happen. So I think maybe they kill him off at the end of this season, but I don't know. At the same time, I think he may last a little longer. But I'm going to go ahead and make him a toss-up for this year. I don't know where they're going to go with Negan. I'll say he's a 50-50. And then there is Maggie. Lauren Cohen is on a new show called Whiskey Cavalier. That's why her appearances on The Walking Dead are being cut short this season. I don't think they will kill the character off. I think The Walking Dead is hoping to get her back. And if Whiskey Cavalier ends up tanking, I'm willing to bet Lauren Cohen would like to have The Walking Dead to go back to. So it's all contract and money and other things going on. But if Whiskey Cavalier ends up being a big hit, Maggie will likely be gone. Either way, I see Maggie's story being left open-ended this season, and then whatever happens with both shows will happen, and it will be left to season 10 to either end Maggie's story or let it continue. And I don't wish any ill will on anybody with the show, but I'm kind of hoping Whiskey Cavalier goes in the crapper so we can have Maggie back. At the same time, looking at it from Lauren's perspective, I can imagine an actor can be ready to move on from a project after 9 years. But whatever happens, I think Maggie will live to see the end of season 9, but there is a better than average chance they end her story this season, so I'm going to give her a 50-50 chance. Two of the new characters I will mention are Alpha and Beta, played by Samantha Morton and Ryan Hurst, respectively. These are the top two dogs with the new big bad group this season called the Whisperers. And as I said, I don't know how long the storyline will run. I don't know if it will be wrapped up by the end of the season, or if, like Negan and the Saviors, it can roll over 2 seasons or 2.5 or whatever. I'm just not sure. I would imagine whenever the storyline ends, it will end with the death of one or both of these characters, but when that is, we'll just have to wait and see. I'll just make them both a toss-up. Okay, now, finally, what I consider to be the most likely deaths. The characters I don't believe will see the end of the season. First, and I really don't know why, Tara. I just don't know where else they can go with the character. She's kind of on the verge of being a major fringe character, and it could come up, when they need a big death that captures your attention, but at the same time doesn't dip into the major players. It's the one I'm least confident about, but I'm going to go ahead and call it and say Tara dies this season. Also Gregory, and the peasants rejoice. This guy makes Eugene look like Chuck Norris, for crying out loud. This self-serving, backstabbing piece of crap will likely put himself in another position to be taken out, and this time he won't survive it. I could see a horrible death for this guy. I'll miss the actor, who is phenomenal, but it will be nice to finally see the character get his, and so Gregory dies this season. Okay, and finally, the one I have been avoiding most of all, Rick Grimes. Now, if you didn't know, and you made it this far into the video, then the spoiler is your fault. Andrew Lincoln has confirmed that this will be his last season on The Walking Dead. Now, I held out hope that his story would be left open-ended. Maybe he could step away for a season or two and then come back. Like, Rick Grimes goes missing or is held captive, but then, still being a writer at heart myself, I knew they couldn't do it that way. Rick Grimes' story needs to be told until the very end, and if they left it open-ended and he never wanted to return, they could leave him. They just couldn't leave him dangling forever. They also couldn't leave it open-ended, and then let's just say the show only lasts 2 or 3 more seasons. They would have to bring him back in just to wrap up his story before the series ended, and that would just feel forced and not right for the character. The only way season 9 can end for Rick Grimes is with Rick Grimes' death. They have to end his story here, and it sucks a lot. I'm a Rick Grimes guy. He is my favorite character, and I can already tell my attitude toward the show is starting to change, even though he isn't gone yet. And then to top that off, on a personal level, my second favorite character is Maggie. So to potentially lose both of them at the same time, that's a big hit for me as a fan. But I'm not even going to go into the possibilities I have imagined for Rick's death, how they're going to do it. I'm just going to let it happen and see what the Walking Dead universe has come up for the end of this character. It will be on a grand scale, and it will change the show forever, whatever they do. Alright, those are my 3 big deaths for the season: Tara, Gregory, and Rick. And of course there will be others. Some of these fringe, we'll lose some of the fringe characters along the way, but these are the 3 big ones that I see happening. The 3 most notable. But okay, well, that's it. I avoided doing this one as long as I could because I did not look forward to doing it. I also don't know this is probably going to run a little long, so I'll end it here. The first episode of Season 9 is set to premiere on AMC on October 7th, 2018. It is a much anticipated, but also much dreaded first half of the season that will run 8 episodes, and we'll just have to wait and see where the show goes from there. Alright, well, thanks for watching. Links are in the description, and I will see you next time.